in both the ETFs, it looks like you can make a decent profit at the end of the week.
Yes.
So it's inversely proportional. So one has to go up, other one will go down. So one that is going down, buy at that point, and once it start getting reversed, sell at that point. And at that point, the other one will be at the bottom. So buy that one. So I think that's what I have noticed in past 2 to 3 weeks.
Absolutely, and that's a very good observation, and that's the reason I have been sharing with our premium team that if you are looking for consistent profit, just this pair is good enough.
Yeah, because it looks like, I mean, why the reason why I didn't play that much like in this 3-4 weeks, like mostly I wanted to observe the trend, how exactly it goes. So I was observing both at the same time, and then I came up with this thing like, yeah, it's okay to play both at the same time from now onwards.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you play both at the same time, it's more or less like what you do in buying a call and a put in options. There are strategies where if you are not very sure on which direction it is going to go, so similar to that, you can just play in both TQQ and SQQ. If it is bullish, you can keep holding on your position for TQQ. If it goes bearish, you can hold your
Position in SQQ.
And whichever is going opposite, you can close in small loss.
Right.
Right. Or if you would like to hold, you would get a chance where you can close the position in profit, either at break even or in small profit. So if you just keep on practicing with these two, I think it's good enough to get your weekly profit gains.
And plus the other thing is, it's not only about the profit. I believe even the strategies will get powerful. The way we see the charts, we're going to improve on those ones. The way we see the indicators, the way we study the indicators, we're going to learn more and more. So as I mentioned earlier, before I used to use a stochastic RSI, but now onwards I'm using more MACD. I use MACD as well as one MACD and one CCI, because the CCI is a leading indicator and the MACD is a lagging indicator. So I mean, both you can compare at the same time, and plus the Bollinger Bands are there. So
absolutely. So what you're looking is now a very focused indicator which is working for you, and a specific ticker which is good enough to make consistent profit. So the more you keep on trading only with these two, with the set of indicators that you have chosen, will help you to become more consistent in making profitable trades and increasing your win rate.
correct.
Irrespective of what's happening in the market, what are the news, what trend is there overall, if you just focus on these two, you know at what time you need to enter and what time you need to exit. If you are taking swing trades as of now, your analysis on 1-day chart and 1-week chart is good enough. If you want to be more active, your analysis on 1-hour chart and 15 minutes chart and entering the trade on 1 minute chart is good enough for you to take more number of trades for shorter durations and still be profitable.
Right, correct. Makes sense.
Okay. Yes. So with that, we will start with the agenda for this session. So thank you for joining, and those who will be watching online. So in this session, we will be doing analysis of the indexes, and we'll take the stocks and crypto that are requested by our members and also those on call. So before going there, I would like to touch upon some of the announcements from GMT team. So the next batch of our trading course, we will be starting on 28th of May. Usually we start on Saturday, but this time we are going to start on Sunday, 29th of May. Unlike what mentioned last week, we will be shifting by one day and starting on Sunday. This will be a 4 weeks course for those who are new to trading and have some experience of trading, have some investments. This course would help you in building up from zero to become confident in trading based on the technical analysis as well as the fundamentals. We currently have the options course going on, which is about to finish in couple of weeks. So the next batch will be starting on 2nd of July once we are done with the trading course. So for any additional information on these, please feel free to visit growmoneytrading.com, and on the specific course pages, you will get the information that's needed for the course. And if you still have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or any of the GMT instructors. Apart from this, there's one major event for GMT, which we are planning on 11th of June. It's a 1 year completion for us as a business. So we would be planning a in-person event, and that would be on Saturday, 11th of June from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. We would have 3 sessions. First, a session on grow money trading and investing in stocks and crypto by GMT team speakers. Followed by, we will have a session on investing in real estate. As of now, I would like to not disclose the speaker, but as we go along, we will share more details about the guest speaker or speakers. Followed by that, we'll have futures and options session, again by GMT team. And then we'll have 15 minutes of celebration of the first year anniversary of GMT. We would also have lunch and open up for networking once we are done with the sessions. So please look out in the GMT WhatsApp, Telegram, or Discord group, whichever group you are connected, for more details on this event. We would also be adding the details on the website where you could reserve your seat for the event. Sorry about that. So now moving on to the analysis part. Vivek and Nitya, if you have any questions about the event on June 11, please feel free to reach out to me. And
yeah, so we have to register, right? So you have already given us the link.
Yeah, it's not currently on the website for registration. Just you can message me for now, and then we'll take it from there.
No worries. I'll just check my availability since I have the university. If I'm free, I'm sure gonna join.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
And Vivek has also mentioned that he is also interested. So Vivek, we can talk about it separately.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Okay, so now coming to the analysis of the indexes, the indexes that we usually cover are NDX, IXIC, SPY, and TSX. Vivek has also requested about UVXY. We will go on to that. So before going there, we will start the analysis from IXIC. I'm looking on the weekly chart, and as you can see, it touched the 200 EMA, which is at 11,300, and got pulled up in the last session, last 2 sessions. If you look on the daily chart, IXIC has reversed, but this reversal could be a short-term reversal, and you could also call it as a bull trap, possibly, if it takes resistance at EMA 10, which is at 11,960, 9,963 to be specific. If it goes further ahead and closes this gap, the next resistance could be at 12,300, and the mid Bollinger Band on daily chart could come down further close to 12,340. So look out for these levels if you are planning to take long positions or you are planning to buy calls at the start of the week, or if you have already opened a position either on Thursday or on Friday in the last week. The indicators are slightly above the oversold region on the daily chart. They have reversed up. Now, all three indicators, although the volume is slightly lesser than the sell volumes in the last 4 sessions, if you look.
Sorry, Kamal, can I
However,
interrupt you?
yes, sure. Nitya, you're saying something?
Yeah. Sorry, I always had this question. That let's say, for example, in last 1 week, right? You said like it's a bull trap, and the curve for CCI and Williams are, let's say for example, it was there in the overbought region.
It crossed the
Sorry,
oversold
oversold
region.
region,
Yes.
oversold region before, and then it quickly went up to the overbought region. So does it mean like it's a very short-term bullish trend?
It has not reached the overbought region yet. Overbought on Williams R would be around -20. Currently, it is at -73. And CCI, when it is close to +100, then it would be in overbought. So now it is
Correct.
moving up from oversold to the normal range. So it has not reached there yet. One of the
Yeah,
reasons
but
why.
for example, let's say if the curve moves quickly from overbought to oversold or oversold to overbought, then can we say that it's just a trend trap?
Yes, but looking at these levels, if it starts facing resistance around this level, it would still not have reached the overbought region. For reaching overbought region, once it is closer to the upper Bollinger Band and goes further up, around 13,600 is when it would start touching the overbought region. So like it has reversed here, if you notice around -59, it could reverse around -50 again here.
Right.
And
Okay.
the reason why I am saying this is looking at the larger interval of monthly chart. IXIC touched the lower Bollinger Band, which was at 11,139, which was also close to the EMA 50 and got pulled up. Since it has formed a red doji candle on the monthly chart, looking at monthly horizon, it could still drop further again. So this reversal that we have seen on the daily chart, if it faces resistance near the mid Bollinger Band and forms a bearish engulfing, that could result in a candle which could be again touching the lower Bollinger Band.
Okay.
Okay. So for a short term, for this week, 1 to 2 days of a bullish trade could be profitable, but for a longer term, we'll have to watch if it faces resistance near the mid Bollinger Band. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. So that is the analysis on the IXIC. If you look at NDX, it is almost similar, although it did not touch the 200 EMA and it got pulled up. But in terms of the trend, if you look at the trend, it's almost the same. So just watch for EMA 10, which is at 12,530. If it breaks up above this, the next interval to the next resistance level to look would be at 1286, which is about 500 points. And on the monthly chart, one of the reason why on a longer duration, it's still a bearish trend is that NDX, it did not touch the lower Bollinger Band. IXIC touched, but NDX has not touched. And again, it has formed a red doji, which could mean further drop in the monthly interval. So for those who are looking to invest, to mid-June to end of June could be good time for entering on tech stocks or NASDAQ 100 stocks if you are planning to go long position. This coming week is good for very short-term trade of 1 to 2 days. For those who are planning to take trade for longer period of say 3 months to 6 months, once it touches the lower Bollinger Band sometime in June, that could be good time to enter. And what I mentioned about NDX applies to QQQ, just the values would be different. So short-term trade, look at the resistance near 313. First resistance on Monday would be around 305.5. If it breaks that resistance, the next resistance would be this super trend level of 313 for a short-term trade. And on a monthly chart, for those who would be interested in investing in for long term, once it drops to this 269, 270 would be a good entry point for holding for long term. If we take this to TQQ, which Vivek has requested in terms of entering a put position. So Vivek, if you are planning to buy a put, you can choose strike of 25.5, which is 100 EMA. This last week, it touched almost 26.6. It didn't touch the 100 EMA and about $1 above it got pulled up. But if you are planning to buy a put for a expiry beyond June, you can look for the strike around 25.5. Or the lower Bollinger Band is at 23.45, but I would still suggest to be conservative and choose this strike, which would be which would still be cheaper at this moment.
Okay, man. Sure.
And you can plan to enter sometime mid of this week when TQQ is
Up.
getting closer to this super trend 36. So about $5 up if it goes there. If it starts facing resistance at EMA 10, that 33.5, you can open position there, but I think it would be more rewarding if it touches around 36. So when TQQ touches 36, you can buy a put of 25.5, which is like $10 lower.
Sure, Kamal.
Okay. Does that answer your question that you had about TQQ put?
Yes, man. Yes, man. Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Just make sure that your expiry is beyond June so that you
I will
have
let you know for sure.
Yeah. So you have enough time to hold on to that position until it drops there.
And what about for now, like just as a stock, what will be the good average price? I mean, to enter.
Yes. So if you are, again, if you're looking for a quick trade within this week for 1 to 2 days, you can open a position tomorrow either in pre-market or at the start of the market around the current price of 31.9, which is in the aftermarket I'm looking, and have a stop loss at 25.5 for a target, the first target of 33.5 and second target of 36, this super trend 36.
Okay.
If you draw a resistance line here, you'll see that that was the resistance form. And if it goes beyond, then the current mid Bollinger Band, although it could drop further down, so then next target would be 38. So 36 and 38 could be the next targets for
Only
this week.
this week.
Yeah,
Right?
only for this week. Hitesh, do
Then
you have
it
any
looks
question
like there
for?
is a possibility where it goes down.
Yes, once it reaches these levels, there's a higher probability of TQQ facing resistance. Looking at the longer term interval, and if we look at the weekly chart, weekly chart has a EMA 200 at 39.3. So if it goes above 36 and at 38 it doesn't face resistance, the next target would be EMA 200 on the weekly chart, which is 39.3, which looks to be now it could be a strong resistance, because previously it acted as the support and now it could act as the resistance. With both EMA 10 and super trend in the downward direction, with the next week these could drop closer to the EMA 200. So if it goes above 38, the next target could be 39, but on a conservative end, aiming for 38 would be better, 38 or 38.4. So if you want to take a quick position, either in pre-market or at the market open, in looking at the dip on the 15-minute or 1 hour chart could be a good entry point. Entry around the around the lower Bollinger Band, or close when it is closer to lower Bollinger Band on 15-minute chart or 1 hour chart. So
If I want to trade for like 3 days, I think I should look at 15 minutes and 30 minutes charts, right? Mostly.
15 minutes and 1 hour chart. If you
Oh,
look
sorry,
at,
15 minutes and 1 hour chart. Yes.
yeah. If you look at
Right.
1 hour chart and you try to enter near the lower Bollinger Band, you would get chance to exit at profit near the upper Bollinger Band.
Right. Thank you, Kamal.
You're welcome. Okay, so we covered QQQ and TQQ. Let's quickly touch SPY and then we will go on to Vivek's second request of UXVY. So SPY is almost similar trend that we saw for TQQ. Again, this week, if you are looking for resistance for SPY, the resistance for next session Monday would be 405.5, which is the EMA 10. And for Tuesday, it would be 413. So if you are already on call, or if you are planning to buy a call, you could choose strike price under 413, or have a target at 413 if you are on a ETF, SPY ETF. But again, looking at the weekly chart, it's a red doji and which is under the mid Bollinger Band. So if it drops further down, it shouldn't be a surprise on the monthly interval. This 363 could be the first resistance, but first support, and a stronger support would be closer to the lower Bollinger Band. And this could become more in line if you look at the Apple monthly chart. It touched the lower mid Bollinger Band and got pulled up. However, the super trend is still further down at 134, which could become a strong support looking at the resistance that it had at 134. So this week, again, it could follow the trend that we saw for NDX, could go further up and face resistance around 155. And from there, if we look on the weekly chart as well, 157. Currently, it is under the lower Bollinger Band. But on weekly chart, on monthly chart, the further downtrend is still expected. A buy around 134 would be good for those who are looking to invest in Apple for longer periods. Okay. Any question for Apple or SPY? If not, we will go on to UVXY. Okay. So UVXY is an ETF which follows VIX, and VIX is inverse of market. VIX is a volatility index which is kind of moves inverse of the market trend, especially the Nasdaq and other US markets. So looking at UVXY, since Nasdaq has reversed, UVXY is going down. The indicator RSI is also down. Volume is decreasing. So Vivek, if you are planning to buy a put for UVXY, you could plan for 14.5 or 15 as the strike.
Okay, Kamal. Done. I was thinking 14. Yeah.
Yeah, 14.5 would be better since the super trend is at 14.4. Okay, so 14.5 will become in the money faster.
Sure, man. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is not on weekly or daily chart. So again, this would be a quick trade like TQQ or QQQ. You can open your position. If the market is bullish, you can open your position at the market open for 1 to 2 days trade. Okay.
Certainly, man. Certainly. Yeah. I'm going to do that on Monday.
Okay. Cool. So we will now take TSX. TSX on the monthly chart, it touched the mid Bollinger Band and got pulled up. On the weekly chart, it took support at EMA 100, which is at 19,535. Following the US market trend, it has also reversed. So even TSX, you can expect it to go further up and face resistance near this level of close to 20,800. 20,900, which could now become a strong support. Looking at EMAs and super trend merging at this level, almost close to 28,900. And this would specifically be helpful for those who are holding shop on TSX. And you would notice, since Shopify reversed in the last week, Shopify has pulled TSX up as well. Although Shopify in the next session, it could face resistance at the mid Bollinger Band level, which is 560. Both super trend and mid Bollinger Band are at the same level, which could close this gap down. So for those who entered for short term, you could plan to book your profits, or if you want to hold for long, at this moment, looking at what we saw on the monthly interval for the US exchanges, it could impact Shopify as well. Although looking specifically at Shopify, it touched the 200 EMA on the monthly chart. It got pulled up from close to 398. The low in this week was 409. So it almost touched the 200 EMA on the monthly chart. So we could see some reversal for some time for shop. So if you want to hold, you can hold with stop loss, and the stop loss could be either the low of the last session, if you are planning to hold for a few days, or the low on the week, which is 409. So you can have your stop loss at 395. And this we are looking at TSX, similar levels in USD. You can look for the shop on NYSE. So for NYSE, the first resistance, which I had mentioned in the group as well, look at booking profit at 435. Mid Bollinger Band is at 438 and super trend is at 420. If you want to be more conservative, you can book your profit at 420. Okay. Any questions on shop? If not, then we will take TGT and then we'll go on to cryptos and we'll check about it.
Kamal, this is a new one which I think we never touched TGT. Some point.
Okay.
It's target. There used to be a target in Canada in the past, but when I came in 2015, they shut down.
Okay.
So it then climbed. So I'm expecting it a downward trend. I'm looking for monthly chart towards 160.
Okay. Yeah, currently it is taking support at mid Bollinger Band on the monthly chart, and it is forming almost lower highs.
Lot of upside rejection, right?
Yes, there's upside rejection, but if you look at the mid Bollinger Band, it has been taking support at the mid Bollinger Band. The last month, means the current month, it touched the mid Bollinger Band and has got pulled up in the last two sessions. However, it could still face resistance at the EMA 200 225. And since the last candle was a red doji, although market was strong bullish, which means there is still bearish sentiment on this stock.
Okay.
So even on weekly chart, expecting it to drop down closer to 200 is possible. Looks highly probable. So if you are planning to buy a put, 225 is where it almost touched and got pulled up. The next level, you could still buy a put of 220, let it reach 225, and once it starts facing resistance, you can buy a put.
Okay,
of
man.
Either 210 or 200. Looking at the monthly chart, it could fall to 160, but I would say take in stages. Buy a put of 210, book your profit, and then later on you can enter again.
Okay, man. Sure.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. Hitesh, Nitya, any other stock or ETF that you would like to be analyzed before we move on to crypto?
Yeah, well, I am planning just to follow TQQ and SQQ for coming week as well.
Lucid.
Lucid. Okay.
Yeah, you can look at that.
Take Lucid. Did you enter this or you looked at this jump?
I have existing. I didn't enter. I didn't buy. Still.
So Lucid. Okay. On monthly interval, it almost touched the 200 EMA on monthly interval, and on daily and weekly chart, it has reversed. So if your average is around 21, then you could hold on to book your profit around 21.9, which is the level I'm looking at, closer to upper Bollinger Band, and this EMA 50, which is at 21.7. That could be a strong resistance if it goes above the mid Bollinger Band. In the last two sessions, it has strongly reversed, but you will have to wait for it to reach near 21.7 based on the trend that we saw for NASDAQ and SPY. The market trend could slow down its uptrend. Although from the last two sessions, it has reversed strongly, but the market trend could impact and you might have to hold further. What's your average?
My average is very high. I bought it 6-7 months back.
Okay, so
when it was in the peak.
Can it come down to 10?
Okay, let's see.
Downside rejection is there.
Yeah, downside because of this long week. There's positivity in the market. It didn't touch even 12.5. It got reversed at 75 cents higher, 13.25. So looking at the downside rejection, it could go up.
Is that because of the market sentiment last week?
Market sentiment, but there seems to be a stronger bullish sentiment on this. The last session, it went up 14%, and then even in the aftermarket, it has gone up by 2%. It was with a gap up. This big red candle was almost engulfed on Thursday, although it gave a closing less than the previous day, but then the gap up covered that and it formed a almost bullish Marubazu. It touched the mid Bollinger Band, and here it could face small resistance, drop down to this 17.3 and get pulled further up. So if it takes support near 17.3, it could continue with the uptrend. But that would be based on how the market trend is mid of this week. The market trend could impact Lucid's direction as well.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Okay. So at this point, it's not attractive for averaging down. Also, if you are holding Hitesh, if you are looking to average down, last week was good, or let it fall back again and see if it takes support near 17.3 or around close to $16. But at this point, you can just hold it. Okay. Okay, so we will now move on to the cryptos request. Let's see. BTC.
Kamal, is it anywhere possible if we have a time? Can we just quickly look at SPCE, Virgin Galactic?
SPCE. Okay. So let's finish with this Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we'll close our session with SPCE. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. So looking at cryptos on the monthly chart, it's still bearish. The indicators are downward. Histograms are increasing on a monthly basis. If you look at the weekly chart, it dropped last week quite considerably, and in the last few days it has started recovering. There was downward price rejection close to 25k. So for a few days we can expect it to move further up to this level close to 34. It may not reach unless there is strong buy because of what happened with Luna, since it dropped almost 100 and then Binance stopped trading. There's fear in the crypto market. So if there is not strong buy, expecting it touched 30k and then 34k and then face resistance is quite likely. For those who are looking to take quick trade, 2 to 3 days of trade could be profitable. But in the long term, for those who are holding and are in loss, you can still expect it to drop down further. Another 50% drop is possible. Lower Bollinger Band is at 15.9. Currently, it is at 30k. So it's possible that it could drop close to 15k or 16k, which would be another 50% drop on a monthly basis. Since on the weekly chart it has dropped under the lower Bollinger Band, market could pull this week up. That's why for 2 to 3 days it could be profitable. Now this we talked about it. If we about BTC, if we look at Ethereum, On the monthly chart, it is currently taking support at EMA 30. If BTC keeps dropping, even it could drop further on the monthly chart. On the weekly chart and daily chart, there is downward price rejection, and that's why in the last 3 sessions it has started moving up. So expecting it to touch 2.3K is possible, but the target should be close to 2.2K, which is EMA 10. That could be the first target. 2.3 is also probable, but depends on the volume. If you look at last 3 sessions, it has been moving up, but there has not been a strong bullish sentiment on this. Although it has been forming higher lows, and 2.2 is higher probable, 2.3 is also possible to touch. We look on the weekly chart, it had dropped under the lower Bollinger Band and is now getting pulled within the Bollinger Band. So this EMA 10 is at 2600, which would be the next resistance on the weekly chart. Rather, yeah, 2.4 would be a better target on the weekly chart. So the first target could be 2.2, then 2.3, and the next target on the, for those who are looking for about a week's trade, could be 2.4. But in the longer term, it's better to take positions in a small quantity or lesser dollar value. Okay, we'll take the last quest for the day from Nitya. SPC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
SPCE Virgin Galactic. Yes.
Yeah, Virgin.
The main thing is I am also having the same problem. My average for this one is 41. That is since last year. And after that, it fell down drastically because at that time I used to trade this one on the basis of news.
Right.
But now I think is it a good time to average this one down? Because it is at its all-time low.
Yeah, was just looking that for you. Okay. So both on Williams R and CCI on the monthly chart, it is in oversold region. So if your average is quite high and if you would like to average down, looking at the weekly chart, it touched the lower Bollinger Band. And on daily chart, it has reversed with the market trend. So if you are planning to average down, and hold for few weeks or couple of months, you can plan to average down.
So
But
what
for
you want to say
averaging
is
down,
this is a good time, right?
for averaging down based on technicals, it's at the oversold region and you can buy. But what I would suggest is wait until mid of this week and
Okay.
see if the market reverses, then you can hold and wait for the market to fall again and then buy. Because if the market continues further dropping, it could drop under $5 as well.
I see.
So
Okay.
yeah, wait for this week, and towards the end of this week, you can plan to average down.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
depending on
Thank
the
you very
market.
much, Kamal. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. So with that, I think we have covered all the requests as well. So are we all good?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, great. So I'll stop sharing, and with that, thank you all for joining, and hope you all have a profitable start of the week, and also take positions which could be profitable for upcoming weeks as well. Just take lesser quantity positions towards the end of the week if the market is bearish, and
Okay.
you can increase your positions once the market reaches oversold region on the monthly chart. So with that, hope you all keep sharing in the group whatever analysis you are doing and whatever trades you are taking, and we would take it from there and see you all in the next week.